Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future. Answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, we're going to jump on in. We're going to look at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. But let's first start with looking at this recent past energy. Let's look at what you guys have been dealing with here. A new start is coming. The energy is gaining momentum. Okay. Every time you find yourself gaining momentum to get somewhere new, some sort of new beginning, it feels like something comes up. Something comes up that holds you back or sends you backwards. And you're finding yourself in this position of feeling like it's a one step forward, three steps back kind of energy. Like it feels like it's like I'm moving forward, but then I'm taking all these steps back. And I feel like that has been really draining for you in a lot of ways, you know, especially when it comes to like getting your hopes up, feeling like things are going to improve, and then finding yourself back, you know, in the same place and in the same position. So let's see what is going on here. Current energy here for Aquarius. Your dreams need a practical plan. Step out of your comfort zone. Okay. So it feels like So when we're building anything, when we're taking any steps toward anything in our life, we're always going to be met with resistance. And that resistance isn't trying to hold us back. It's giving us the opportunity to work through the doubt, the fear, and the limiting beliefs that we're holding. But if we're not careful, what happens is we start to believe that doubt. We start to believe our fear. We start to believe the reasons that the world is giving us to, to give it up, to not keep moving forward. And I feel like what keeps happening is, and I don't want to say this from this place of saying that you're not trying, because there's a lot of effort in this reading. But it feels like there's this energy of either sabotaging or abandoning path, or like deciding to play it safe right before it happens, where it's almost like you're on the verge of some sort of goal, some sort of shift, and then I don't know what happens, but it's almost like there's this recoil where it's like, oh wait, no, I don't know if I'm good enough for that, or I don't know if I can make it happen. I don't know how this is showing up. Like I can't think of any examples. But it's like, I don't know if they call it self-sabotage. I don't know what it is, but it's like, you get to the edge and then there's, this recoil here. And I don't know where that's coming from, like I said, but let's dive into this more, because the thing is, you are like really, really close to something here. But there is something standing in your way. A habit or a pattern. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Whoa, okay. Luck is on your side. Don't let your past hold you back. And then you have a win-win outcome as forecast with be bold to make the first move. So it's almost as if, it's like if I were to put it into like imagery, it's like there's this portal. And on the other side of this portal is the outcome you desire or, something wonderful for you. And you get like close to this portal and you're about to step through. But then there's this energy of going back. It's almost as if like it's choosing an old cycle out of fear that a new one isn't going to come. So like say, and this is just an example, okay? I'm not saying this is what's happening, but say that you're wanting to attract the love that you deserve and desire. And the love that you deserve and desire is waiting for you, okay? It exists, it's waiting for you. But right before you find yourself aligning with it, you go back to like old relationships or old patterns or old dynamics. You accept less than what you deserve. And it feels like, and that, again, I'm not saying that is what's happening specifically, but that's like the example where it's like you're so close, but then I don't know if you get impatient. I don't know what, but then it's just like, it's this recoil back to old cycles. And that's why I feel like don't let your past hold you back, because your past is no indication of what's possible for you in your future. Your past is only an indication of what you believe to be possible for you to this point. Overall theme of this reading for Aquarius, please. Home with transmute. Aquarius, I feel like you've been through a lot. And I feel like you've learned a lot and you've grown a lot through the things that you've been through. And it's like you're ready to align with more, to align with better, to open up to more abundance, more love, more success, whatever, word really resonates with you. But you haven't yet given yourself the permission to want more or to believe that you can have more. It's almost like right before, things start to shift, this doubt creeps in. And that's what happens. Literally right before a breakthrough, we experience a lot of doubt. We experience a lot of fear. And it's almost like instead of, showing up in that being like, this is just my doubt and fear, I'm choosing to move forward. It's like you believe it and you go, oh, see, this is just proof that I can't have it, or this is just proof that I'm not going to get there. And then you respond from that place. And then it's like you start all the way back over. And I think that a lot of what this reading is about is almost like giving yourself this permission to truly believe in the things that you deserve and desire, where you go, I'm so certain that these things are going to, make their way to me, that I'm not going to go back to old patterns or habits. I'm going to choose this new beginning. It's interesting because you have both the North Node and the South Node card, right? And it's like these are opposites of each other. And I almost feel like what I'm seeing here is redirection over repetition. Redirection over repetition, because I feel like there's a repeating pattern of behavior or of choices that continues to repeat your past, and you're being asked to step out of that and create your future. Now all of this might sound really big, so bear with me because we're going to get a little bit deeper here. Let's start with looking at this recent past. The energy is gaining momentum with a new start is coming. Set past for Aquarius. the Emperor in reverse. So control starts getting in your way. And it could be a fear of failure. It could be a fear of rejection, a fear of intimacy. I don't know. There's the Nine of Cups. And then the Queen of Cups in reverse with the Two of Pentacles. You don't need to try so hard to make the things that are meant to happen happen. And I don't mean that you don't need to show up for your life and that you don't need to put in effort. But when we start getting in the way of our flow, we block the very thing we're trying to attract. And like I said, I feel like you have been through so much in your life, and I feel like you are putting in so much energy to create better for yourself. And it's beautiful, really, because I think that you're standing tall in what it is that you deserve, despite how much you've been through, maybe even going through some things that would, break some people. And that's why I think it is such a beautiful energy, because it's very determined. It's a very determined energy. It's very not giving up despite having so many reasons as to why, or as to like so many reasons to give up, but despite that, continuing to show up. And that is like such an important aspect of creating better that a lot of people don't have. But the part that you're missing isn't the trying harder, showing up more, doing more, controlling more. It's the trusting more. Because right now, I feel like there's this lack of faith in the belief that you are being supported and guided, that the universe has your back here. And that missing piece is the biggest thing holding you back. Because the universe is trying to bring certain things to you, but your control starts to block the very things that, are trying to come to you. And we control because of fear. When we don't think something's going to happen, when we don't think we can have the things we deserve and desire, we're going to get in our own way, right? And we get in our own way in so many different ways. We push away the people who are trying to help us or care for us or love us, or we never give ourselves a chance to really dive into and commit to new opportunities, or we walk away when things get tough or scary or hard or whatever. And I think that it's almost as if and this is a little deep, but I feel like it's something that's really important here, Aquarius. I feel like you haven't given yourself permission to believe that you deserve good things. And I think that there's probably a lot of reasoning for that. Maybe you've been through, so much that you've inherited this belief that good things can't happen to you. So it's like, I don't want to get my hopes up, because if I get my hopes up, I'm just going to be disappointed. Maybe, there's this carrying of guilt or shame from your past where you're like, I don't deserve good things. Look at all these mistakes that I've made. I've missed my opportunity at good things. And because you haven't given yourself permission to believe that you deserve good things, you haven't fully opened up your energy to it. Because there is a part of you that believes that you can't have good things. And this is in a lot of different ways. I feel like this is in love. I feel like this is in abundance. And it's almost like you have so much proof as to why good things can't happen to you, quote unquote, proof, okay? Because of what you've experienced. And I think that's why you don't let your past hold you back. Because your past is not a reflection of what you deserve. It's not a reflection of what's possible for you. It's merely your past, right? And this is about overcoming these beliefs that you've been carrying for so long around your worthiness, around your deservingness, around your capabilities, and to allow yourself to really claim your birthright of experiencing good things, of experiencing love, of experiencing abundance, of experiencing freedom. All of these things aren't things that have to be earned. They're things you've always been deserving of. And that belief of I'm not deserving of good things, it's showing up. It's showing up in action and behavior in some way. Current energy here for Aquarius. This is a deeper reading. This is a deeper reading. You know, one of the things that I've learned about humans that is really intriguing to me is that we actually tend to prefer the level of love and abundance and success that we're used to. And we're actually very afraid of the love, abundance, and success that we desire. Now, not consciously. Consciously, we're like, wait, no, that's what I want. But subconsciously, we're actually afraid of that because we're very wired for survival. So we tend to prefer experiences we know we can survive. And we don't know how to survive good things if we haven't experienced good things. So we actually subconsciously block or reject the possibility of good things in our life because there's almost this part of us that is afraid of that. And we start to identify so heavily with our survival mode. We get so good at surviving that there's a part of us that actually starts choosing situations that our patterns and our behavior starts to align with survival mode. And I almost feel like that's a lot of what's happening here. And it's so interesting. What does Aquarius need to know about their current energy? There's the grounding. Queen of Pentacles. You're very protected and guided. And you need to know that. I think that there's a lot of stress around not having what you need. And you know what, Aquarius? I think that you're kind of used to not having what it is that you need. I think you're used to not having what you need, and I think you're used to not having what you desire. And there's a part of you that's become very good at not having what you need and what you desire, kind of like what I was just talking about. There's the Three of Cups and then the Three of Wands here. I want to make it very clear that I am not blaming you for your struggles, okay? I think that one of the things that I really learned on my journey and one of the things that really set me free on my path was that I realized I had more power than I ever thought that I did. But it wasn't power over what happened to me or what has happened to me. It was power over the choices that I made and the energy that I made those decisions from. And for so long, I'll be the first to admit, I didn't used to be the best person. I was pretty toxic. I was pretty unhealthy. I made selfish decisions. I made wounded-driven decisions. And when I went through a spiritual awakening, so much of my journey surrounded forgiving myself for the things that I did when I didn't know better and when I was in survival mode. Not from a place of just letting myself off the hook, but from a place of deeply dealing with understanding the shame surrounding that. And also giving myself a little bit of grace and understanding that every version of myself was just trying to protect me. I just didn't always go about it in the right way. And I say this because when my life started changing for the better, I started actually dealing with a lot of anxiety. I started having a lot of panic attacks. I started having a lot of stress and fear around things in my life improving because there was a part of me that still believed that I wasn't good enough for good things, that I wasn't worthy of good things, that I was deserving of mistreatment, that I was deserving of financial struggles, that I was deserving of not being happy or abundant because, I had all of these reasons, the way that I had been treated, the way that I treated others. And so much of a spiritual journey is about understanding that we're not deserving of good things because we're perfect. We're not deserving of good things because we're just totally healed and we have it all figured out. We've always been deserving of good things. And the decisions that we make don't reflect who we are. They reflect what we believe we deserve. And I feel like for you right now, there's so many decisions that are being made or they're, maybe it's big decisions or small decisions or whatever. They're coming from this place of, I can't have good things. And I know I know that sounds so simple, but when we get clear on the ways that we still aren't giving ourselves permission to believe that we're deserving of abundance, we start to figure out how we can move differently. Because for so long, I was like, oh no, I'm meant to be alone forever. I'm meant to struggle like this forever. Like that's just I used to say, or I used to believe, that's just my lesson in this lifetime. And it was never my lesson to struggle. That's what I believed I was meant to do. I found purpose in the survival mode. And when we find purpose in survival mode, that becomes our identity. So there's a part of us that struggles to believe that there is another way of living that's even possible for us. So without realizing it, we choose that survival mode. And that's what this is about, Aquarius. This is about breaking out of that survival mode and recognizing that you aren't here to struggle. You aren't here to suffer. You're not here to get your heart broken over and over again. You're here to thrive. And that doesn't mean that your life is ever going to be absent of obstacles and challenges and struggles. But what you do need to know is your purpose on this earth is not to struggle, okay? Your purpose is to align with your true nature, which is love and abundance and freedom. That's who you are. That is what you're here to experience. It's just that you've experienced so many things in this life that have caused you to build up barriers to these things, that have caused you to make decisions that come from this place of, oh, it's not possible for me, or I'm not worthy of it, or I'm not good enough, or it has to come at a cost. I have to suffer for it. The things that you deserve do not require your suffering. Your suffering is you believe you have to suffer in order to experience good things. And I get why you do, okay? Because maybe you have, right? And I just, like I said, this feels deep, this feels personal, but I feel like it's also really important for somebody on a spiritual journey. I used to identify so heavily with my trauma. It was like I was so proud of all of the things that I had overcome. And I am proud of myself for the things that I've overcome, but I also can understand that what makes me worthy and deserving isn't the fact that I've overcome a lot of things. It was the fact that I was never deserving of experiencing those things in the first place. It was the fact that I've always been deserving of more. I just didn't realize it because my life hadn't shown me a reality that reflected that. But remember, this universe is a mirror. If we don't believe we can have good things, the universe will never be able to truly reflect back to us good things. So what does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Yeah, it's like down to the people you surround yourself with. Mistreatment in friendships and relationships. Breakthrough. Ace of Swords. Ooh, you're headed toward a pretty intense breakthrough here. And this is the breakthrough that I feel like you've been waiting for. There's the Chariot. This is truly this energy of breaking out of survival mode. Like truly. It's really powerful and really exciting, but it does require doing some work, doing some of that deeper work here. Look at that. 10 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. Look what's on the other side of this breakthrough. The Chariot, 10 of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune. That's crazy. So much abundance, so many, karmic shifts. That's what karma is. Karma isn't a punishment. Karma is a reflection of what we believe we're worth, what we believe we deserve. So this isn't, I think that a lot of people come, to tarot. They come to me and they ask, are these things possible? Can I have the love that I deserve? Am I meant to experience abundance or freedom or success? Are these things meant for me? Can I have these things? And the answer to that question is always yes. Always. You are meant to and capable of experiencing the life that you deserve. It's not something that only the lucky few get to experience. It is something that every single person on this earth has a birthright to experience. But it is up to us as individuals to claim that right and to allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to want and be deserving of good things and to show up in alignment with that. To make decisions that reflect I'm worthy and deserving of good things. And to not, to take the risk, to not settle for less, to not, self-sabotage in a lot of ways. So you're headed toward a pretty intense breakthrough, and this breakthrough leads to a lot of really positive changes. But I think that this breakthrough has a lot to do with freeing yourself from your past, from past experiences, from karmic experiences, and, you know, kind of reclaim your right to experience wonderful things in this world and in this lifetime. All right, Aquarius, this was deep, but we're going to get even deeper. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive into these messages, ultimately answering the question, what do you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.